Very tight district races mean for big games in week 9 of high school football. Braden River in a must-win versus Palmetto. Riverview trying to take charge of their district, plus several other unbeaten teams trying to remain unblemished. Buckle up those chin straps. Friday Football Fever starts now. Hello everyone, Trevor DeGroat with you, welcoming you in once again to Friday Football Fever presented by Ingman Marine. The season's winding down and for some it will be the end after a lot of hard work. Hard to imagine, but if Braden River lost to Palmetto Friday night, they would virtually be out of the playoffs after making it to the 7A state semifinals last season. Let's kick it off from Palmetto. A must-win for Braden River, trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. Raymond Thomas showed his team's level of urgency, finding the end zone right here for an early 7-0 lead. Then later was Knowledge McDaniel that ran it in for a score right there. Pirates up 14-0. Palmetto's defense did make a few great stops tonight, but quarterback Luis Colosimo was a cannon, finding Tyrone Collins for another Braden River score. Pirates are rolling. Palmetto doing the best they can on a goal line stand. Nice job. And then later, number 4, Desmond Ross is going to step up for his team, and he's going to pick off Colosimo in the end zone. Nice job to prevent another 6 points right there. Second half, Palmetto defense forced another turnover. Number 13, Trey Thompson with an interception as the fans really trying to pull for their team right now. Braden River coming out for the second half, feeling pretty good. Here's this interception right here for Thompson, deep downfield by Colosimo, trying for the big play. That's about all the Tigers had in the tank. Braden River picking up a fumble as the Tigers drove toward the end of the game. Pirates added on to an impressive lead at the end, finding Deshaun Fenwick with a touchdown. Pirates come back with a statement win this week after losing to Venice 35-0. Our own Lyndon Blake was at the game tonight. She caught up with Braden River head coach Kurt Bradley afterwards.
You know, one of the biggest things with high school kids is adversity. How do they handle it? And we hadn't really been in any adverse situations this year until we went down to Venice. Hostile crowd, lost the lead early on, and ended up losing the game. And you know, how do we bounce back? Our kids had a solid week of practice, and then to come out here in a hostile environment, you know, we learned who our kids are that will go out there and battle, and we learned how to play in front of a hostile crowd, and you know, just a fantastic performance tonight.
Venice trying to remain unbeaten on the road against Lakewood Ranch. Another big night for Indians running back Matt LaRoche. Couple of big runs here in the first quarter, exhausting the Mustangs defense. He had 225 yards after just 12 minutes, folks. That's one quarter of play. Ridiculous. Mustang mascot trying to keep the crowd energized somehow, but really was to no avail. Quarterback Justin Curtis can't connect with Kalibi Johnson. Incomplete pass. Bad night for the Stangs. Venice absolutely rolls over Lakewood Ranch handily, 62-0. Riverview Rams can be in a great spot in 8A District 6 with a win over Newsom High. First drive of the game, Mike Welser pump fakes, slings it, easy pitch and catch to Malachi Weidman. 6-0 Riverview, easy. Wolves senior Drew Lindbeck drops back to pass, but gets picked off by linebacker Julian Lauenstein. And he returns it deep into the Wolves' territory, close to getting it into the end zone, but about the 10-yard line. Big play from the sophomore. His teammates let him know about it. A few plays later, it's the Punisher, Ali Boyce. The guy's essentially beast mode, folks. 13-zip Rams. The Kilties getting loud in the Ram Bowl, but the fun wasn't over yet. Wolves driving, but are stopped in their tracks with another interception. This time it's by senior A.J. Franco. Rams moved to 4-1 in the district, beating Newsom 41-14. Manatee trying to shake off the loss to the Rams. They actually playing the Riverview Sharks in Hillsborough County. A.J. Colagiovanni passed to Javarius Pollock. On the screen, touchdown, Hurricanes 7-0. And they were not done. Next play, Manatee on the ensuing kickoff. It's Brandon Sweeney, ground kick on the onside. Hurricane Scott Volaterre recovers it. A few plays later, Colagiovanni. Very similar to what they did with Riverview to Pollock right there on that post route. Or the quarter round, I should say. 14-0 Hurricanes. Riverview quarterback Eric Brown trying to get something done late in the first, but that Manatee defense is stuffing them. Manatee back on offense. Colagiovanni to Tariq Milton. Hurricanes rolling this one, folks. Big time. It was a battle for first place in 5A District 11 at Southeast as the Hardy Wildcats came to town. Wildcats first move right there. Big strip by Randy McLeod to give Hardy great field position. Then on 3rd and goal, quarterback Hayden Lindsay finds Johnny Jean in the back of the end zone. Tremendous reception and concentration. Maintains possession. Wildcats get the early lead. Impressive. Seminoles get on the board. Very next possession, a field goal. shortens the lead, 7-3, but the Southeast offense continued to struggle. Bad snap and cannot maintain possession. 3rd and goal, and it goes over Alex Taylor's head. Wildcats one step closer to a district title. They win 20-10. Booker hosting Lemon Bay in a 5A District 11 matchup. After an early Tornadoes touchdown, both defense began to clamp down. Lemon Bay quarterback Hayden Wolf having a tough time finding receivers. The running game couldn't really go anywhere either. Tornado defense on point. On the other side, Arthur Brantley threw in a screen pass to Jamal Benson. Host of Rays there to meet him. He actually gets picked off too by Dan Balder. However, Booker's defense was a little bit stronger tonight. They go on to win this game 30-15. We'll be right back. More high school football highlights and scores on the way on Friday Football Fever. Stay unbeaten. Port Charlotte and Charlotte, folks, are going to have a huge clash next week. Could they remain unbeaten this week? Charlotte brought the Tarpon statue for the ride to Cape Coral High. Usual fast start on their opening possession. Tarpon's QB D. Hicks with a 5-step drop looming downfield. He finds Jacob White in stride. 46-yard touchdown pass, 7-0 Fish. Still in the first quarter. Trailing 13-0, Cape Coral forced to punt on 4th and 10. White fields the punt at the 42-yard line. Heads far up the sidelines, turns up the jets, and outruns everybody, breaks the tackle for good measure at the end. 20-0 Charlotte. They're rolling over Cape Coral, the Seahawks. Trying to get something going, something positive. Chase Sealander with an open receiver across the middle, but he gets popped. Ball comes loose, picked by Nick Giacalone. Hicks would set up another long score here on a long touchdown run. 42-0 Tarpons. They stay perfect. So Port Charlotte trying to do the same on the road as well, taking on Island Coast. Gators trailing 21-0 in the first quarter. That's quarterback Corey Curtis for the Gators, rolling right, throws a wobbler, but it's good to Joseph Smith for 33 yards. 21-6. Ensuing drive for the Pirates. That didn't last long. Option left. Mark Jean Lewis, I should say, showing incredible bursts down the middle of the field. Downshifts. 41-yard scamper, 28-7 Port Charlotte. Island Coast looking poised, trying to score again. But hey, Curtis gets picked off by Stephen Muse. Pirates heading their clash with Charlotte unbeaten as well. They win this game 38-7. Got some other scores to show you. IMG Academy on the road against Trinity Christian. They remain unblemished for their season, 34-21. Out of Door Academy, this is their final game of the season. They did not make the playoffs in SSAC. They lose to Windermere Prep. However, Bradenton Christian is moving on to the playoffs. A nice win for them entering, so good momentum going forward with a win over Canterbury, 25-6. And then as well, these are games from yesterday, folks. Seffner Christian losing to St. Stephen's. St. Stephen's is the #1 seed out of the Coral Bay Division in SSAC, so they get the win there over Seffner Christian yesterday, leading into their playoff matchup next week. And get this, Cardinal Mooney, one loss on the season, folks. They're 6-1. They have a chance to win their district next week against Clearwater Central Catholic. Big win over Victory Christian, 21-18, 18 on the road. So let's see what they got in store next week. Coming up next, Herald Tribune sports writer Doug Fernandez joins me for a little perspective on this week's action. Stay tuned to Friday Football Fever. All right, everybody, welcome back to Friday Football Fever. Herald Tribune sports columnist Doug Fernandez with me here this week, and pretty big stuff and exciting action out there. Not where you were, though. Venice just rolling over Lakewood Ranch, unfortunately, for the Mustangs. It was not pretty. Yeah, usually my games end about 10:15, 10:20. This one ended running clock in the first half, running clock in the second half. Game was over by 10 o'clock, 62-0. No letdown after that victory over Braden River. Matt LaRoche finished with 269 yards, 4 touchdowns in the first half. Ridiculous. Lakewood Ranch is having its problems, shut out for the 5th time in 7 games. But yeah, Venice wins the district next week by beating a Palmetto team that was beaten up pretty badly by Braden River tonight. Indeed, and Braden River definitely needed that victory big time. Otherwise, they probably would have been on the outside looking in. Hard to believe, but they did get the job done. Riverview Rams, Doug, this is a team you saw last week against Manatee, the big upset on the road. Now they're sitting pretty right now. If they get the win over Alonzo next week, which should be the case, they're going to win that district. Yeah, and before that Manatee game, we were talking about Riverview behind the 8 ball, maybe having a chance. That one victory over Manatee pretty much changed everything up.
come out big today. And yeah, they're facing a 1-7 Alonzo team that you think on paper they should win that. I can't tell you the last time Riverview won the district title, but great for Todd Johnson.
No kidding. He's got a lot of excitement and a lot of enthusiasm right now in that locker room and certainly in that community at Riverview High School. Ali Boyce is just a beast running the football. I've never seen anything like him. He's just a fantastic young athlete.
No, very determined. I mean, and when you see him play, it just shows you what determination on the football field does. Yeah, last week against Manatee, knocking over everybody backwards. I'm sure it continued today in the victory.
Yeah, they're good stuff right there. A lot still to be determined next week, so a lot of exciting action. We'll show you the Super 6 poll here momentarily. And there you see it right there. Venice and Charlotte atop, both undefeated teams. So Charlotte and Port Charlotte, Doug, a lot to be decided right there. And that's
district title next week.
District 10. It's all up like last year. Port Charlotte really found out what Charlotte was all about. This time it's in Port Charlotte's home. We'll see if there's a difference. Do you think there's something that they could do this time that Jordan Ingman can pull out of his hat against
I don't know. Those teams know each other better than pretty much any teams in this area, so there won't be any surprises. I think we got to give it a shout out before we go to Booker. 3-4, 3-1 in the district, back-to-back victories over DeSoto and Lemon Bay. If they beat Southeast next week, they get the runner-up spot behind Hardy for the district runner-up. So great job. Great turnaround job by Dumika Atkins over there.
Yes, very good job by him, and we'll see. Rashad West is doing a pretty decent job against with Southeast. However, a loss tonight was very devastating, so another loss to Booker. The good news is they're at home, which can give them a little bit of an edge. And little love to Cardinal Mooney, too. What they did last year was incredible. But,
they're winning every game by 3 points, 4 points, 5 points, but they all count with victories.
They certainly do. Thank you very much, Doug. That's all for this week. Thanks for joining us, folks.